Today I'm doing the Harry Potter spells tag. Wait, this isn't right. That's better. Today I'm doing the Harry Potter spells tag, so let's do this. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So this tag was created by Turtle Sympathy. I will link them in the description below, go check them out. And it's basically just a series of questions surrounding books inspired by Harry Potter spells. So let's get on with this, shall we? Spell number 1. Expecto Patronum! Pick a childhood book connected to good memories, and I'm going to say The Noddy Collection by Enid Blyton. I know there are issues with this collection, it's not entirely politically correct, but when you're a kid you don't notice that kind of thing, let's be honest. Anyway, this is a series of books which I absolutely loved as a kid. I not only loved the books, I loved the TV series, not the weird crappy CGI version that they've done since, but the original TV series they did of this, which was so good. And oh my god, I loved this series so much. It was just a silly little, you know, they did silly little things that it was nothing particularly life-changing, but it was just really cute, and I used to love reading it. And the books we have, I can't get to them because they're in the loft, but the books we have are just falling apart. I read them so much, so it has to be that series. Spell number 2, Expelliarmus! I'm going to do that every single time, I'm sorry. A book that surprised you, and I am going to say Shades of Milk and Honey by Mary Robinette Kowal. I heard everyone raving about it, but because it is a Jane Austen inspired book in a way, I was on the fence about it because there are so many books that have been inspired by Jane Austen which are just terrible. But I think the writing is just so similar to Jane Austen's, but in like a really good way. Like, it's not clearly ripping off Jane Austen. It just reminded me a lot of Jane Austen, and I think in this day and age people do try to emulate her work a lot and totally miss, and Mary Robinette Kowal didn't. The next spell is Prior Incantata, which you'll be glad to think I can't shout at you, because isn't that just like when the wands connect? Is that actually a spell? Oh, it's not. Wait, it's not, is it? It's the one where it tells you what spell your wand just cast, last cast. Isn't it? I need to reread the Harry Potter series so much. Anyway, talk about the last book you read, and I last read The Mime Order. It's awesome. I did a review of it. If you have read it, then you can go watch it because it's packed full of spoilers, but otherwise, don't. But I flailed about this book so much, and I'm going to continue to flail about this book for the next 2 years until the next book comes out, so be warned about that. Next up is Alohomora. A book that introduced you to a genre you had not considered before, and I'm going to say The Queen of the Tilling by Erica Johansson. I was unsure about reading this book for a multitude of reasons, but ultimately it actually made me really kind of love the young adult genre. I had read young adult before, but really I hadn't considered it as like a genre that I would actually enjoy, and hadn't for that reason read like a lot of it before I read this book. But it surprised me. That said, having read loads more young adult since, I don't think I would really count this as young adult, but I do think it probably just, I don't know, encouraged me to read more young adult, which I didn't like necessarily not read before, but I don't know, it just kind of made me want to read more, if that makes sense. Next up, Ridiculous, a funny book that you've read, and I'm going to say Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, because I think I just really love their writing style combined together. They have a writing style which, it sounds really weird, but it's really British. Like, the humour in it is so British, and Good Omens for me is just a great example of that, and I just found it hilarious. I didn't think the plot was amazing, I'm going to be honest, but I did really love the writing, and it definitely kind of made me want to read the book because I love the writing so much. So I'm going to say that. Next up, Sonorous. Hello. I am speaking very loudly now. Ha ha ha. I don't know why I'm speaking in a deep voice, but ha ha ha. A book which you think everyone should know about. I'm going to stop pointing at my throat now. And I am going to say S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. I know some people have read this, and I know I do go on about it a lot, but it's because I don't hear about that many people reading it, and it's just the most original book I've ever read, and I want there to be more books like this. I understand why there aren't. I know so much goes into producing a book like this, just in terms of the creativity and everything behind that, and it does cost quite a lot to buy this book. It's 20 quid, I think. It's gone up. It was 12 quid when I bought it. It's gone up to 20 quid, but it's a really good book, and honestly it's worth 20 quid. It's such a good book. I really recommend reading it. I love it so much. Also, be proud of me, I didn't say the bone season for that because I was really tempted. Number 7, Obliviate. I'm just basically saying every single spell, like, oh. A book or spoiler you would like to forget about. I'm going to say Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I didn't at all enjoy this book, and honestly it has put me off the crime genre entirely for the moment. I want to get back to reading that genre because I know there are so many great books that have been written around that genre, but that book just put me off the whole thing completely. It was well written, it was very well written, and I understand why some people might like it, but I just didn't enjoy reading it. I really hated reading it, and it was such a push to finish it. It was a really slow book, and then the ending was just like, it was just, I felt so depressed and bored and everything by that book. I just didn't like that book at all, so I want to forget about that book. Question number 8, Imperial, which I won't do because I don't want to curse you. A book you had to read for school, and I'm going to say Frankenstein by Mary Shelley because I mentioned this in my rereads video last week or the week before, and in that I talked about how I want to reread this book because I read it in school. I do think that because we completely broke it down line by line, I just got really bored with it, and I think if I had just come to it and read it as a single book and not had to go back and completely dissect it, I would have enjoyed it a whole lot more. So I do want to reread it. However, I need another copy because this copy is just, look, the inside of this book is just completely covered in writing, and this was actually my second copy. My first copy was even worse. So yeah, I do want to reread that, and it is a book I read in school. Question number 9, Crucio, a book that was painful to read, and I am going to say Looking for Alaska by John Green. When I read this, it was the first book that truly made me break down while reading a book. I don't in general cry when I'm reading, but this book I was just in complete floods. It was so, oh my god. Question number 10, Avada Kedavra, which I wouldn't say to you because I don't want to kill you. A book that could kill, interpret how you will. I'm going to say 50 Shades of Grey. I'm not going to bring down the tone of this video because I could go into a rant about this book so much, but basically all my thoughts and feelings about this book were summed up by I will link her video in the description below. She basically talks about why 50 Shades of Grey is a book which should not be celebrated and should never have been made into a film. So go check that out. She basically sums up everything I feel about that book and why it could kill. Probably literally in some people's case, to be honest, which is a rather sad reflection on the book and our society. Anyway, before I bring down the tone of this video too much, I'm going to end it there. If you want to be tagged in this video, then leave your favourite Harry Potter character in the comments below. I will check them out and tag you. I will be back tomorrow with my top 5 Wednesday video, but until then, I hope you have a good day, and bye!